This video is about to get very surgical.
Everybody a thug till them lights pull up, and everybody got a gun until ICE pull up. A middle finger to the president, cause I ain't too impressed. How the fuck you kicking niggas out? Ain't you niggas guess? So it's death to an ice truck driver. You shouldn't be.
We gotta revisit this, okay? With everything that's going on, we gotta revisit this. There was a whole lot of theories, a whole lot of ideas surrounding this picture, this energy, the Grammys really in general. And I think it was very interesting that Kendrick decided to take this picture just like this after the Grammys, okay? I think that's very important to recognize. And there's a few questions that I want to ask, a few questions that have come up because of that, right? Number one, is Kendrick gonna rack that other hand, right? And I really want to go over the concept of what this picture can mean and the fact that there were a lot of theories out there, and I want to kind of flirt with those ideas, okay? Another question, if so, why? If he is going to wrap that other hand, why would he, right? Another question I want to ask is, if he's not going to wrap that other hand, why not, right? And I just want to, let's theorize. Let's just think about with all the context clues that we have, let's theorize, right? And then the final question I want to ask is, if Kendrick does decide to step on the release, does decide to wrap that other hand, what does that look like, right? What would that look like? What are the possibilities, okay? And these are the questions that I want to go over. Now, before we do all that, let's go over this picture right here first and foremost, okay? So this is after Kendrick Lamar wins 5 Grammys in the first place. Legendary, right? Because he already did it the year before. Now, he pulls up to the Grammys and goes on stage with one of his hands wrapped, right? And there's been a whole bunch of ideas around this. It's because it's a threat, it's all this different stuff or whatever. But when we look at this picture, it gives it a little more context, in my opinion, right? If you look to the top left, these are all the things that you do in the case of an emergency with somebody, right? In the case of a medical emergency, dial 911. They got how to deal with sprains, right? You elevate the leg, you ice the leg, and those are essentially the things that you do with a sprain, right? Shock. And it gives you a list of the things that you should do when somebody is going into shock, right? Burns and lacerations. It gives you the idea of what to do when somebody is experiencing burns and lacerations. And then last but not least, fractures. It gives you the idea of what you should do when somebody is experiencing a fracture in their body. You know what I'm saying? Right there's a picture of their arms, etc., right? Then you look at the top right. This is about CPR. You feel what I'm saying? Compressions, right? What to do when somebody is running out of breath, when somebody is running out of, you feel what I'm saying? Compressions, pushing down on the chest, rescue breaths, right? This is blowing the air into somebody's lungs, blowing air to somebody's chest and reviving their ability to breathe, right? And then you look to the right of that, and it's how to use a fire extinguisher in case of a fire, right? In case of an accident, how to use a fire extinguisher. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all. There's some people who think some of us read too deep into this stuff, and Kendrick just decided to take a flick on the elevator. He was like, "Hey, homie, come take this picture of me on this elevator with these things behind me, just cuz, right? Let me show the glove. I could have easily put my hand in my pocket, but let me show the glove. Let me show you that, you feel what I'm saying? I have this glove on, and then my other hand is covered and it's not covered with the glove." Do y'all genuinely think this isn't intentional? In my perspective, this is an intentional picture, right? In my mind, this is a threat, right? And I think a lot of other people came to this conclusion too. This is a threat, right? I think, who is he threatening? It's not like we actually know, and we don't even know if it is a threat. But to me, it is a threat. And when we look at everything that's going on with what Drake is doing, etc., all this different stuff going on, his page is getting hit with bots, his page is getting hit with bots, you can sense a blitz, right, coming in that direction. This feels intentional. This feels like the same type of grace that Kendrick was looking to give Drake in Meet the Grams. This seems like grace as well. I'm giving you a warning, right? I'm giving you a warning. Not grace in Meet the Grams, grace in Euphoria. I'm giving you a warning. If you do A, B, C, or D, I'm going to wrap my other hand. And you are going to need all of these things behind me. That's what I'm picking up from this picture. If you do A, B, C, or D, whatever that might is, I'm going to wrap my other hand and you will experience sprains. You will experience lacerations. You will experience shock. You will experience fractures. And you're going to need CPR. Right? In the whole, even if we want to reach a little bit, watch the party die in the aspect of metaphorically burning the house down, right? Needing an extinguisher to put that out. This feels like a threat. This feels like a threat, okay? Now I want to move on to the next thing. If this is a threat and Kendrick would wrap his other hand, what would be the reasons that he would wrap his other hand, right? I got a few. Right, and I think wrapping the other hand would be to metaphorically step on the next release, Drake's next release, right? What would that be? Why would he do that? I think so. These are the reasons. I think number one, if Drake says Kendrick's name, right? If there's any point in any of these songs that Drake has coming out, boom, 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 where he's saying Kendrick's name, I think that this could be what he's referring to. It's the same thing when I think about Hey Now. I think in GNX, Kendrick is talking to multiple people, but I think Drake is getting talked to too. And I think when he says, you bet not say my name on Hey Now, I think he's talking about anybody, but I think he's talking about specifically Drake. He knows that Drake is coming with a release, and he's letting him know, you better not say my name, right? I think he could have been talking to J. Cole as well, right? Knowing that the fall off was coming out, knowing that, boom, and all this different stuff. You better not say my name. And if so, this is what's going to happen to you. So I think that could be one of the reasons that Kendrick would wrap his other hand if Drake were to say his name. Now, what's the likelihood of Drake saying his name? I think is extremely low. I think it's like damn near 0%. I would bet any amount of money that wouldn't happen. Right? Now, the thing is, I'm not going to know unless somebody says something on Twitter because I won't be listening to the album. You won't see me streaming the album. You won't see me doing nothing. When that album gets released, there will be no videos, no streaming of the album, no nothing. You feel what I'm saying? I might end up going on another platform with people talking about it or whatever, but it ain't going to be no conversation from me in that aspect. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just letting y'all know right now. So, unless I see it on Twitter or whatever, that's the only way I'm going to know. But that's why I think Kendrick would wrap his other hand if Drake said his name. And that's how we might potentially end up getting the next half of Euphoria, potentially, right? Which I do think some of that is probably for Cole. The diss tracks that never left the vault, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus 5. You see what I'm saying? There's a lot of different things. I think that it could also be just stepping on the or on the project with another release, like, you know, feature bodies. You know what I'm saying? A deluxe with whatever. But the bottom line is, I think that is the reason that Kendrick will wrap his other hand. Is because somebody says his name. Another reason I think Kendrick could potentially wrap his hand is simply because of the lawsuit. Simply because of the lawsuit, right? The lawsuit happened after Drake got his ass whooped. You see what I'm saying? The lawsuit happened after Drake got his ass beat. So what we have to ask ourselves is, was Kendrick and company aware of the fact that Drake would sue? Right? Were they aware that Drake would potentially sue? And I feel like that had to have been a conversation. That had to have been a conversation. If they knew that Drake was going to try to go below the belt. And so in the event that Kendrick would have to go below the belt, Drake would probably sue. That had to have been a conversation. If it wasn't a conversation, so be it. You feel what I'm saying? But I feel like that had to be a conversation, especially if you feel me? So the ramifications of what this lawsuit could do to hip hop, that alone might be a reason that Kendrick Lamar would wrap his hand again and get ready to get busy. You see what I'm saying? That alone could be the very reason, because of how dangerous this lawsuit is. You feel me? To free speech within hip hop. I mean, even when I think about all the things that have been said in hip hop. Think about all the things that are going to be said in the future in hip hop. If we're taking lyric as fact, right? That's a dangerous line to be walking for anything that's been said in hip hop in ever. And I think, you know, a lot of people don't understand the fact that I'm being dead serious about how dangerous this lawsuit is and how serious this situation is. Some people might think it's just another day. Boom, boom. It's not that serious. It's just, but I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm being dramatic. Whatever you call it. But this is my truth. I do think this is a very serious situation, and it could have very serious ramifications. So that's not it. You feel what I'm saying? And that's why I said what I said in the past. And, you know, a lot of people got mad about that, but I'm hoping that leading up to the situation, people are starting to see in a different light. And I do want to say shout out to all the people that stood with me and all the people that showed love, because I was surprised by how many people was aligned with that and how many people agreed with me and how many people stood by me in that scenario when I was getting blitzed. You feel what I'm saying? So in my perspective, I'm like, that alone could be the reason that Kendrick Lamar raps the other hand. You feel what I'm saying? Because of the lawsuit, right? Not only that, it's very clear that Drake is the reason for all of these things taking place. You think that, and we're going to break this down soon, but you think that Pusha T and Jay and all these different artists that's coming out, that's coming from strictly Drake propaganda pages, that Jay and Pusha are in the Epstein files, isn't aligned with what Drake is doing, isn't aligned with people who are aligned with Drake? I think you would be crazy to think that. And that's not to say everybody is innocent of doing anything. I don't know everybody. I don't know these people. All I'm saying is you could tell that was propaganda to smear Pusha and smear Jay. And this is days before the Grammys, just like they tried to smear Pusha with the Quentin Miller thing days before Coachella. Okay? So that's another reason. Now, there could be another multitude of reasons, but we ain't going to spend too much time on that. Why wouldn't Kendrick rat that other hand? Right? If we are in the mindset that this is a threat, it is entailing like, as long as you don't do this, I don't got to rat my other hand. You feel what I'm saying? So why wouldn't he? Now, my perspective, and something I've been thinking about a lot more recently, talking about God Dog Ninja, is that would be benefiting Drake probably more than anything. Can Drake genuinely build genuine hype? Like, I get everything that's going on right now, but bro, we're talking about a plethora, a enormous amount of bots have suddenly appeared all over social media getting ready for this thing, right? The whole thing has been a lot of manufactured stuff, a lot of things that are pretend to be organic and not really organic. This is all manufactured. You can see it, right? And when things heat up, the bots and the propaganda and all the different stuff are going to heat up even more. I think it's the reason why they've been spending so much time spitting out the bots idea onto Kendrick Lamar and everybody else, because they knew that they were going to be stacking this up. They get ready for that. So if you rebuke that, if you rebuttal that, it's like coming from you, boom, boom, and neutralizes the conversation. So in my mind, I'm like, if Drake can't genuinely build the same level of hype that he was able to build before, wouldn't a direct versus kind of amplify that hype for him, right? Wouldn't, like, the fact that Drake is even doing this with Kendrick in general, right? It's like, clearly you're using Kendrick to build hype for that album, right? The same way J. Cole did, the same way boom boom, the same that they're accusing. Once again, they're flipping on them, knowing that that's what they're gearing to do, right? And you can see it clearly. You can see it clearly. J. Cole, the whole thing talking about the battle and all the different stuff, battles is bad and all the different stuff, but then saying that he was inspired by what happened in 2024 and therefore made the second disc for the fall off. It's like, I thought that wasn't the thing, right? I thought y'all didn't like that. I thought that wasn't, I thought that was a problem. So it's like, when you look at it from that perspective, it's like, is it even worth it? Wouldn't it not just be better to just let Drake fizzle out and die out? I mean, people can say he's the most streamed artist, boom, boom. I mean, he's dropped 40 fucking songs. I would hope that the songs accumulate in the streams and he's putting out more music than his peers and therefore he would be the most streamed. I would hope so. I would hope so after an entire album and all the different stuff and boom, boom, right? And then single after single after single after single after single. I would hope so. Right. But then it's like the internet does move fast. But like we remember like all the bot lawsuits and all the different things that have been taking place. The Young Thug getting caught on the phone talking about buying number ones and buying and all this different stuff. You feel what I'm saying? So let's be honest there. Is it even worth it? And that's why I think maybe Kendrick doesn't rap the other hand, because maybe it's just let him fizzle out and die. That would be an even more devastating fizzle out than, stepping on it, I guess, in a sense. That's one reason I don't think he would rap the hand. Another thing I think he wouldn't rap the hand is because this is all going to be happening around, Isaiah Rashad's release, other guys' releases. Baby Keem seems to be dropping something soon. So it's like Kendrick being the biggest rapper in the world right now, that would be maybe, I mean, we don't know the game plan, but maybe that just wouldn't be the smartest thing to do, considering it would cut off the momentum of these other releases, right? But once again, I'm just I don't know nothing about the industry. I don't know nothing about nothing. So I just be on here giving my perspective as an outsider. So when I look at it from that perspective, it's like, that's another reason why. You feel me? Another reason why he wouldn't rap the other hand. And maybe those are the only reasons. Now let's get into the last part. What would it even look like for Kendrick to rap his hand? Now, first and foremost, I think it would be to step on the release. Remember in the beginning of the year when I had the All Eyes on Me theory? I still feel like Kendrick has a double album just sitting there. I still think that Kendrick has a double album just sitting there. Facts. I think that Kendrick is sitting on a double album, and that isn't a part of GNX. I think Kendrick has 2 albums, like Mr. Morale or whatever. I think he has 2 discs with probably 13, 14 songs on them just sitting in a cut that will probably all drop at the same time. Imagine Kendrick Lamar dropping a double album right now, especially when you think about all the rumors about potentially performing at the World Cup, which I don't really know if that's true or not. Also been hearing that like there's like the World Cup is doing a halftime show officially. I don't really know. I gotta really look into it and see if that's the case. But it'll be the perfect time to do that if the World Cup is coming around. Boom, boom, boom. A double album leading into that, the same way that GNX did, right? And start off a whole nother run that would take him into a whole nother level, right? So I think that would be very interesting. I think a double album could be the move to step on this next release. But what if it's not Kendrick that steps on the release, right? What if Kendrick might just be a part of a release that would be stepping on that release? That could happen too, right? I've been seeing some things about Isaiah Rashad Deluxe, and I'm wondering, could there be a bunch of features on there? I've been hearing a lot about GNX Deluxe. Is that what comes out, right? Baby Keem got a deluxe. Doechii got an album, which I think people are underestimating how big the album's going to be. I ain't gonna lie. I would be confident to drop Doechii's album at the same time as Drake's album. Niggas called me crazy before. I would be confident enough to do that as somebody who don't know shit about the industry. And I also know that they know, they know way better. So maybe I sound crazy right now. But I would be confident in that right now. I would be confident in Doechii dropping an album at the same time as a Drake album coming out and her holding her own. Real shit. Real shit. But I could be tripping. You got a lot of these different things that could potentially take place. I don't even think a full album would even be necessary either. Bodies coming out would be enough. Bodies coming out would be enough. Right? If the song is a Kendrick and Baby Keem song, if the song is which I really do think it is Keem and Kendrick. If the song is a Black Hippie song. That's something a lot of people been talking about. If the song is a Black Hippie song, you see what I'm saying? There could be a TDE compilation. There could be a TDE compilation coming out. Who knows, right? But these are, I think, the ways that could look. Kendrick rapping his other hand and basically getting back into battle. You see what I'm saying? When I feel like Kendrick probably has been looking to move forward, but it's a big target on Kendrick. It's a huge target on Kendrick. And the propaganda has been honestly very strategic and really smart because they're making Kendrick to be the thing, like be this industry puppet and all these different things that got all these different tools on his side, when really it's them about to do that against him, right? Potentially. Because I don't even know if they would have the audacity to go to war. You see what I'm saying? In that aspect. And because everything and I'm going to make a separate video on this, but everything that's happening right now is feeling like the same energy that Family Matters had. I'm just asking. I'm just saying. It's extremely late right now, y'all. Just bear with me. Extremely late. But it's feeling like that same energy that Family Matters had. You feel what I'm saying? So, I don't know. But there's a lot of different ways that Kendrick could potentially step on the situation by wrapping his hands, including dropping the extra diss tracks that never came out. The extended Euphoria, the 5+5. You feel what I'm saying? It's a lot of different things that could potentially that this could potentially take place in. I think this summer is going to be extremely interesting. And if y'all remember my first stream of the year, 2026 will be war. Right? If you ain't seen my first live stream of the year on YouTube, definitely go check that out. 2026 will be war, is what I said. And I feel like when I say war, I mean musically. A musical civil war. That's what I've been thinking that this year was going to be about, right? It's the year that the empire attempts to strike back after getting squashed in 2024 and 2025. It's the year that the empire attempts to build itself back up and take one last shot and try to get its spot back. There's a lot of people that benefited off of Drake that are looking to benefit off of Drake now that can't benefit off Kendrick. And Drake is the guy who's going to go and do all the favors in order to get things and all the different stuff. They can't get the same level of I sense that genuine relationships and genuine reciprocation is more Kendrick's lane versus Drake's lane, right? Where it's strictly transactional. So I think from that perspective, it's like there's multiple ways that this could go down. And I guess what I'm wondering is, does Kendrick wrap his other hand? In my mind, I'm 50-50 at this point because I don't even think it's necessary at this point. I don't. But I think there's a lot of reasons why you could do it anyway, especially if it's to fight for the authenticity of the fucking culture. Because I think that's what's going on. There's a blitz on the culture. It's a blitz. We got to make that a whole nother video too. We got to make that a whole nother video, man, because it's a blitz on the culture. And I think some people think it's a game. It's a game, and it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just nothing to really think about, nothing to take serious. But I would disagree. You feel what I'm saying? So we got a few videos to talk about. We got a few videos to make, man. Part 4 for the 616 in LA is getting darker, coming very soon, too. So we got a lot to talk about on that one. Look around. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I'm about 50-50 on if Kendrick raps that other hand, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Will this turn into something, or will, Drake get to drop and just walk away and kind of walk off freely? You feel what I'm saying? I don't know about that. I don't know if that happens. I think if Drake getting Drake, with the lawsuit and everything, that power is going to be used against the culture. It's going to be used against the culture. I'm letting you know right now. They're already blitzing it. J. Cole, boom, boom. So we are going to have a conversation about the blitz on the culture. We also going to do a video on some different theories. You feel what I'm saying? Part 4 is going to be coming out soon. Some theories I'm going to just leave for my Patreon. You feel what I'm saying? I'm about to create a whole nother tier for exclusive theories on the Patreon. That's where I can give y'all my batshit theories that you don't have to believe, because I'm just a regular person with, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. You feel me? Take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt. Come to your own conclusions. Take everything Kendrick says with a grain of salt. Come to your own conclusions. Take everything anybody says with a grain of salt. Anybody. Okay? And yeah, y'all have a great day. Tap in with the Patreon. Thank you to everybody that's been showing love, everybody that's been pulling up and getting the Jay-Z reactions and all that good stuff. But it's going to be a lot more other stuff on there. The theories right now are about to get crazy. I'm going to have theories for the YouTube, but I'm going to have theories that are just for the Patreon, because I want to be able to have my batshit theories in peace. Everybody, you feel what I'm saying? Everybody can pull up and we can talk about it in peace. Talk about it, but we won't do our thing and shit. But there will be theories outside of that on YouTube as well. So y'all be ready. Jay-Z Reacts is continuously coming. Got another one coming this Sunday. I might do it Saturday actually, but I do those once a week. So tap in with the Patreon. It's only $5. You know what I'm saying? It's only $5. Y'all definitely tap in with that, okay? Appreciate everybody that is tapped in. I love every single one of y'all, man. Love y'all for the support. You feel me? I got more music on the way that I think y'all love too, that I'm very happy about, proud of. Got some announcements coming too that I think y'all would be excited for. And yeah, this is gonna be an amazing summer. Okay? Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. I'm gonna catch y'all, man. Y'all have a great day.